Katerina. We're starting off with a jittery few days on global markets. Some pretty stern words towards traders from one gentleman.
Yes, indeed. And that man is Richard Fisher, head of the Dallas Reserve and global banking big cheese all round. Now, he was responding to a recent equities sell-off by traders across all global markets. Some pretty tough words, as Chris said. Siobhan Silker has the details.
$85 billion a month. That's how much the Federal Reserve is pumping into the American economy by buying bonds. But worried about a bubble, the Fed announced last week it wants to taper off the purchase. Yields spiked on the news, a jump officials see as part of an effort to force them to back down on the plan. Richard Fisher, president of one of the regional branches, the Dallas Federal Reserve, was scathing when he told the Financial Times,
"I don't think anyone can break the Fed. But I do believe that big money does organise itself somewhat like feral hogs. If they detect a weakness or a bad scent, they'll go after it."
Since Fisher's attention-getting statement, the bond yield has eased somewhat, but the Fed's announcement had sent shockwaves to Asian stock markets, sending them on a downward trend. And now Shanghai's been hit by a double whammy. There are similar fears among traders there that the pool of money is shrinking. Interbank lending rates in China rose as financial institutions panicked there wasn't enough cash to go round. The central bank insists that's not the case, but markets aren't convinced. The Shanghai Composite Index plunged 5.3% on Monday, the worst single-day percentage loss in 4 years. That puts it down over 22% compared to a high in February. And further losses are forecast as it drags other world markets down with it.
And after all that, Katerina, how are the Asian markets looking?
Well, unfortunately, as you can imagine, all in the red. The Shanghai Composite sunk down to over 5% lows yesterday. Little bit better today, currently around 3%, however, still looking pretty grim all round. But while we're on all matters China, probably should just mention a meeting today between the French President François Hollande and members of the China's Entrepreneurs Club. Now, they've got a workshop ahead of a big meeting here in Paris of the International Capital Connection, which is a chance for business leaders from China to meet CEOs from the West and do a good round of networking. All right, well, let's take a look at some companies' news now. Bosses at Eurotunnel want market authorities to see if 500 million euros was wiped off their share price unfairly. It was revealed last week that the cross-channel company was being investigated by European competition authorities. According to Eurotunnel, the press leaked the story before they knew about it. 18% of their share value was lost in 2 days as a result.
A tablet computer for every passenger. That's the visit of the vision of Air France, but only if you're travelling in first or business class. The airline revealing improvements to its upper class services to try and match rivals like Qatar Airways and Emirates. Also on the agenda, fully reclinable seats and improved staff training. The airline is making a big push to regain competitiveness and win back customers on its long-haul flights.
And a friendly takeover gets even friendlier. The consortium of buyers who want to take over French holiday resort Club Med have increased their offer. Board members have said they'll accept the revised price, unsurprisingly, of €7.5 per share, up from 17.5 euros per share, I should say, is the revised price. News broke last month that Chinese firm Fosun was among those who wanted to do the takeover. They want to expand Club Med's resorts into China.
Meanwhile, German Chancellor Angela Merkel are facing party delegates as she lines up her re-election campaign. And a few of her words surprised some people.
Yeah, surprised some of her own party who've always sort of regarded their leader Angela Merkel as a champion of austerity. Now, she outlined plans to raise child benefits, to raise pensions for some of the most vulnerable people. Taxes, she said they were going to stay at the level they were. And of course, like many politicians on the campaign trail, she had a word about unemployment too. Take a listen.
The third focus is a policy of full employment and a minimum wage negotiated by unions and employers. We believe that we can set this very ambitious goal because we have considerable improvements on the labor market. When I was elected chancellor in 2005, we had around 5 million unemployed. Today, we have under 3 million.
Finally, Katerina, we're going to finish off by hanging out our dirty laundry.
Oh, well, I don't have any dirty laundry, Chris. What are you talking about? Well, this is actually a very clever marketing campaign by French washing detergent company Omo. Now, customers can completely remodel their washing powder to fit their own personal needs. They can go online and you can redesign it, really. You can give it your own name, your own particular smell, or rather the smell you want your washing to give rather than your own personal smell. Now, their target is sort of middle-class, design-savvy women who they say, want to sort of jazz up the day-to-day routines, and they say actually once you factored in the delivery costs from online, it's actually also more cost effective. So why not make your laundry a bit more exciting, Chris?
Great stuff. Katerina Vitozzi, thanks very much for that roundup of the business news. Time now for web news, starting with the protests in Brazil.